what we're finding is that some big brands in particular are starting to wake up to the idea that, well, if we spend as much time on the medium as we do on the message, and think about that in the same way, then all of these great pieces that we're making actually will have a bigger impact. So Turtl helps people, anyone really, in marketing departments make better content. The reason why we came about is really we saw so many people doing so much content all the time, but in formats that weren't really optimized for how we read, didn't really provide analytics, and had a high barrier to entry in terms of creation. So we set out to make something that removed all those problems. That's an interesting story. So when we were designing the platform, we learned about how humans read on two levels. We like to skim across the top of things, and then we like to immerse ourselves in more detail once we found something we want to read. And if you think about how you read a magazine or something, you don't slavishly read every single page. You skim until you find the bit you want, and then you read. And so we wanted to incorporate that into how we designed the tool. And for whatever reason, at the same time, we read about turtles, and many people don't know this, but turtles actually, when they swim across the top of the sea or the ocean, can swim very quickly. I can't remember the speed off the top of my head, but it's quite quick. But then when they want to either feed, or actually for reasons that science still doesn't fully understand, they will dive really deep. And in doing that, they'll slow their heartbeat down to something ridiculous, like one beat every 5 minutes. And so it kind of seemed to replicate the way that we like to read, and so hence the name Turtl. Sure. I think it's changed a lot, but I think that the same rules still apply. So kind of a yes and a no answer. I think it's changed a lot in that we're giving much more smaller pieces of content that we digest like on the go. Like if you think about how people get news now through Twitter feeds and stuff like that 10 or 15 years ago, it's completely different. But the same rules still apply, which is that you have to know who you're talking to, and you have to really understand what their problems are and where they're trying to go. So the delivery mechanism has changed in some ways, and the way we consume content has changed in some ways, but the basic fundamentals underlying the piece actually, I think, are the same. You have to have something relevant, you have to say it to the right people who know what, who are receptive to your message. So unsurprisingly, I think that in 2019, the delivery mechanism, the experience that you give your content through, will become much more important, because everyone is talking about creating more and more content, and actually they've been saying this for years. And what we're finding is that some big brands in particular are starting to wake up to the idea that, well, if we spend as much time on the medium as we do on the message, and think about that in the same way, then all of these great pieces that we're making actually will have a bigger impact. So I think that in 2019 we'll see the continuation of that trend.